Hello, all you fine, beautiful people. I'm back here once again with another multi-song reaction, and today I'm going to be reacting to the band Hawkwind. The song you guys have chosen are Masters of the Universe, the Psychedelic Warlords, Disappear in Smoke, and Levitation. If you're new to the channel, I play each song all the way through, give you my thoughts and opinions on it after each song. And as usual, if there's anything you want me to react to, whether it be Hawkwind or any other band, put it down in the comments section. Try to get around to everyone's suggestions. So, I've enjoyed a couple songs I've heard by Hawkwind. Assault and Battery, Into the Golden Void, and I believe it's called Across the Universe, which I really enjoy. So I thought, you know what, let's react to these three and see what you guys have chosen. It won in a poll, very narrowly beating out Elton John. So I'm excited to hear what you guys think. So without further ado, here it is. The first song, Masters of the Universe by Hawkwind. So that was Master of the Universe by Hawkwind. Wow, what a song. Definitely like this great, big, epic feeling track. Very atmospheric. I feel like I've heard that do 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 do. Feel like I've heard that somewhere before. Not exactly sure where, but it is definitely a really, really cool riff that I've heard. Bass. The bass on this is booming. What I love about this, even though it's atmospheric as hell, has all these great kind of atmosphere to it. At the end of the day, it still rocks. And that's what I like about this, is even though at its most out there kind of atmosphere, like at the end of the day, it still has to rock. And it really does. I really enjoy this song a lot. There's a lot going on. It feels like something that you could definitely say would probably be kind of ahead of its time. Really, like you could really hear like the factors of this song into a lot of like 80s kind of like, what I say, goth rock kind of music. You could definitely hear imprints of this in that. It kind of feels almost like a riff Megadeth used at one point. Do 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 do. Really has that feel to it. But wow, what a song! Hawkwind's a band that I've always kind of wanted to go back to and do every once in a while, like only twice on my channel. But after hearing this, like hearing some of the songs, you're always like, well, that's interesting and really thought-provoking, especially the kind of soft-spoken, or I guess softer sung lyrics than underneath this. Kind of gives it almost this feeling of almost claustrophobia in a way, that it's like Master of the Universe, almost if you're out in space, but it's also very condensed, I guess is the right word I'm looking for to use for this. But it's fantastic. Like, it's something that I'm just like, wow. Like, how did that kind of go there? But it also kind of reminds me a little bit of the Pink Floyd motto, where it would pretty much be like the same rhythm underneath some of the songs, and it would continue as they venture. But it's kind of like the four, or play the same board or same four bars like 4 times, and then you improvise over the rest of it. It kind of feels very much like that, like Pink Floyd would be an influence on Hawkwind. But anyway, on to the next song, the or I guess should actually, before quite getting into the second song, look at the lyrics to this. I am the center of the universe. The wind of time is blowing through me, and it's all moving relative to me. It's all a figment of my mind in a world that I've designed. I'm charged with cosmic energy. Has this world gone mad, or is it me? Very thought-provoking there, especially, am I the one going mad, or is it everyone else around me? Kind of one of those lyrical things where if you're in a room and you can't find the crazy person, could be you. I am the creator of this universe and all that it is meant to be, so that we might learn to see this foolishness that lives in us and stupidity that we must suss how to banish from our minds. If you call this living, I must be blind. Kind of interesting. Like, I like the two kind of verses there. It's kind of broken up into 2 throughout the song. Very thought-provoking, especially through this. I'm kind of interested to see after this album or the next song coming up, and kind of see where this band goes, because that is just like some killer lyrics that are kind of thought-provoking. But anyway, on to the next song, which is the Psychedelic Warlords, Disappear into Smoke by Hawkwind. So that was the Psychedelic Warlords, Disappear in Smoke. Wow, what a song. Very much like the first song, it has a very out there kind of feel to it. Like a very spacey, but also a very claustrophobic, heavy feeling centered around it. I believe this album has Lemmy on bass. For all you Motorhead fans out there, wow. Like, just listening to some of the work in here, starts off with a kind of just very, I'd almost say in a way, kind of a very basic riff. And it just kind of works off of that. Like, just very chordy, kind of that kind of thing going on. But really interesting to hear, and the layers with like the textures of like what feels like organ synth, like kind of the atmospheric work going on in the song is really interesting. Kind of feels like just a very interesting album in general, and you're listening to it and you're like, what is going on? The drumming on this song I absolutely love. Like, just, it's one of those where you sit back, you close your eyes, and all you feel is these just great drum grooves in here, just being layered on top of one another, and being able to just go in, out, and then like just these mad flurries, and at the end build and build and build and build and build and build and build, and then just end. I love that. That's one thing I absolutely love out of this. Lyrically, sick of politicians, harassment, and laws. All we do is get screwed up by other people's flaws. World turned upside down now, nothing else to do. Live live in concrete jungles that block up the views. And that ain't no joke. You can disappear in smoke. It ain't no joke. You can disappear in smoke. And I'm telling you that it ain't no lie. Wow. Very interesting, especially the whole thing about concrete jungles blocking up the views. Very much as we kind of expand as people, we start building higher and higher and higher and higher and higher, to the point where it like blocks out the sun. So all you're left with is kind of like this concrete darkness. In very interesting way to kind of put it. And it's kind of like world turned upside down now, nothing else to do, live in concrete jungles that block up the views. Very much like it's also, I think, a metaphor for light and dark. Like putting it upside down, it's dark. Flipping it upside right, you could be the light. It very much has that feel to it. Think you know the answers, we don't tell no lies. We can take you anyway, sever different highs. World turned upside down now, there's nothing else to do. Live in concrete jungles with that blocks up the view. Wow. Really interesting the way, and then it goes back. I like the structure of it, how it's verse, chorus, back to the first chorus, and then an outro of just, that ain't no joke. Interesting way looking at Hawkwind here, and just kind of what's going on. Like, Dave Brock, 12-string guitar, synthesizer, organ, harmonica, vocals. You also in here get like a saxophone part, which is so interesting to hear on this whole thing, because I'm listening to it and I'm like, wow, that's really good. And then it's just that little hint of sax in it, just for me kind of puts it over the top for me, and just really gives it a whole other dimension. Like, this is one thing I absolutely love about those 70s albums. like late 60s to about the mid 70s is the sheer amount of like experimentation and leeway bands were given to be kind of experimental. And Hawkwind seems kind of to being one of those bands that has that kind of feeling to it. Like, I know coming out of this one, I believe Warrior on the Edge of Time is probably the next Hawkwind album. I believe it's the last one with Lemmy on it, which is interesting, at least in the way I look at it, and a very interesting band as a whole, because I know they continue to go on, and at least from what I've heard from people is, even though they went on, not only did they go on, that they continued to always kind of reinvent themselves. And I think that's a massive W for a band, is being able to constantly reinvent yourself and keep yourself modern. I think one of the best examples of that is probably Jeff Beck on guitar. Like, his ability to not only kind of do the blues, kind of do like the rock and roll in the beginning with the Yardbirds, kind of blues rock thing, go off, start his own solo group, have a little bit of that blues rock, then go into jazz fusion, and then by like the late 90s, early 2000s, like his incorporation of like electronic music into his music was absolutely phenomenal. And what I hear is Hawkwind kind of continue to do that, just constantly keep reinventing themselves. But anyway, on to the last song on this reaction, Levitation. From what I understand of this, the reason I chose this song is because Ginger Baker's on it. And I always thought, you know what, how would this sound with Ginger Baker and Hawkwind? It just feels very weird, but let's give it a listen, see how it sounds. Without further ado, here it is, Levitation by Hawkwind.
Fascination
So that was Levitation by Hawkwind. Wow, what a song to listen to. Just hearing the sheer interesting stuff going on here. Because unlike the first two where it starts off very atmospheric, it also has this very poppy sound to it. Like, this definitely doesn't feel like the other ones, where those ones feel a lot more, how'd I put it, where they feel a lot more experimental in a way. This feels a lot more like there was kind of a commercial aspect to it, especially in the way it's sung. In the darkness I will shine, cast no shadow nor define. I walk on water, float on air. There's no other to compare. I have this fascination, no cause for deviation. It's called levitation. Levitation, levitation. It's really an interesting, very hooky chorus. Like, it's very the way it's sung. And then in the middle, you get the Hawkwind kind of experimentation, kind of the Hawkwind thing going on. And it works here a lot. Like, I really enjoy Ginger Baker's drumming, because he's throwing out stuff where you expect it. Okay, here we are in time, we're in time. And then all of a sudden Ginger will just throw out a fill flurry out of nowhere, and it just works. This is a really, really interesting band. Like, listening to it. Like, each song is... Yeah, they're a very interesting band where they have these things of experimentation. But what it proves here is they also have a poppy side. And it feels like in this song, where the other two would be a little bit more keyboard and bass and drums driven, this one does have what feels like a guitar solo a little bit, and also a little bit of just like, it's more guitar driven than the other ones have been. And it's something that as I go along and listen to these three songs, like, they're all individually different. And that's one thing I have to say, is the creativity in this band seems to be just out there. And especially to think that, like, what was it? The first album, which I believe, where is it here? Let's see. That, like, the In Search of Space, I believe that was 71. The Psychedelic Warlords, I believe, was 73, 74, maybe even 72 in there. But then you get Levitation in 1980. Like, how much between Psychedelic Warlords and Levitation, Hawkwind had kind of changed. And it's really interesting just to see, like, how much that change is, even from the first song to this one, is kind of astounding. Like, the fact that where in the other ones it felt like more down and dirty kind of space band with a lot of heaviness to it. Like, they still keep the heaviness, but this one feels a lot more like there was a commercial emphasis in here. I know it's around the same time as post-punk, new wave is starting to really take off. And listening to it and the sounds of it sounds good. Like, I really like these are levitation, like the whole levitation part. I love the chorus to the song. It's really well done. Kind of almost has like that 60s, late 60s kind of feel to it as well, in a way where you have Ginger Baker in there. He was in Cream with Clapton and Jack Bruce, one of the most influential bands of the 60s. And you're hearing them here, and it's like, wow, it's kind of like they took that model a little bit and incorporated the Hawkwindness into it, and it just works. But anyway, that's my thoughts and opinions. I'd love to know what you guys think of this. Comment down below, let me know. Also, is there any other songs by Hawkwind or any other band you want me to react to? Put them down below in the comment section. I can't wait to hear them. Once again, I say thank you guys so much for watching. It really does mean a lot. This is me here signing out. Peace.